Hey guys, welcome to When Spirit Talks. I'm Stephanie Ruth, and I'm a spiritual coach, psychic medium, and Reiki master who helps you awaken your intuition, connect with spirit, and step fully into your highest timeline. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the 3 blocks that hurt you from accessing your intuitive psychic abilities. There are so many people who feel like they can't trust their intuition. They get intuitive hits, feelings that make them notice which direction they should move in. But when it comes to understanding those gifts or trusting those insights, there are so many things that can prevent you from fully getting it. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the top 3 energy blocks so you can start to own and trust your psychic gifts a bit more. Now, the first block is ego. And ego is one of the toughest blocks to work through because it's one of those things that will continue to pop up day after day, month after month, or year after year. Whether you are a newbie or more established, ego will come into play at one time or another. Ego tells you what you should do or what you shouldn't do. It tells you where you're wrong. It asks you to double check over and over and over again. Ego forces you to overthink because it's double checking your messages and trying to somehow keep you safe. If you are moving from ego, you are prioritizing the wrong things. You might prioritize being right, looking good, or getting validation from other people. You cannot get validation for your own intuitive insights unless you give it to yourself. But ego is something you can put aside. You can give it a name. You can call it Kelly, and you can tell it to be quiet the moment it shows up to criticize or to question you. So the next time you get an intuitive signal and the critiques or the second guesses start rolling in, tell your Kelly to quiet down. Once you are aware of ego-based thoughts, you can send them away. So like I said, let's say you're giving your ego a name. We'll go with the example that I said. We'll call our ego Kelly. Now, let's say Kelly is someone who is calling you constantly in the middle of dinner. You are just looking to have a quiet, peaceful dinner with your family, but the phone keeps ringing. This is what you do. You have the power to decide whether to pick up the phone, whether to let it ring, or whether to answer it and tell them now is not a good time. You can also be the person who picks up the phone and entertains Kelly as she's ranting and raving about something you did. The choice is up to you. You have the power to release the hold that ego has on your brain and on your energy, because energy is what is important to really grasp and understand your intuitive messages. Push the ego aside. Don't answer the phone or tell Kelly that now is not a good time. The second block is fear, and fear can stop you from doing a lot. Yes, fear can be protective, but it also stalls your growth, especially when it comes to intuition. You might fear being wrong, and this might look like getting intuitive messages when you're doing a reading for someone, but not actually telling your client your message because you're scared that it won't land. You might fear being labeled crazy or weird. For example, let's say you have a date with someone and at the last minute you just get this weird vibe and you feel like something's a little off, so you cancel the date. The next thing you know, your friend is calling you asking how the date went, and you have to be like, oh, I felt a little bit off, like something wasn't right, so I canceled it. On the other side of that decision is the potential for someone to say, why did you do that? Why didn't you just go? What if you're wrong? You might even be scared of hurting someone and saying the wrong thing. And whether you're in a reading or just dealing with a friend or someone in a relationship, there is a way to go about expressing yourself in a calm, neutral way, getting your point across without hurting them. And to do that, it involves you having a strong relationship with your intuition and acknowledging the insight you're getting without the fear that clouds it. The third block is old beliefs, and this is something that keeps you in line with who you always were as a person. But we are human, this is life, people change, our thoughts change, our values change, our views change. And because of that, you are not the same person you are now that you were 5 years ago. And if you think about yourself several years ago, you will notice that things have shifted. If you were someone who is not intuitive, and the next line I'm going to tie in because I've seen this so many times. If you are someone who previously made fun of people who were spiritual or intuitive, that happens more than you know. You might now be fighting against that intuitive part of yourself that was similar to people that you just didn't understand. And so even though back then you might have had certain beliefs or values, you might have thought there's no way you could be psychic, or even if you wanted to be psychic, you might have thought, that's not for me, I can't do it. The way you used to believe about yourself and your gifts can change, and you can take a proactive stance to change those beliefs. When the old beliefs stay strong, those will block your gifts. When you start unpacking what's really going on, you'll get gold and you'll be able to move forward with more success in owning and trusting your intuition. I love helping people get to the root of their intuitive energy blocks because it is so personal to every single person. One person's fear of being wrong is going to be totally different from another person's fear of being wrong. That same fear does not hold the same energetic weight in everyone's body, and it impacts everyone differently based on how they grew up, what their beliefs in, what their experiences are, what their past lives are. And if you are someone who resonates with any of the 3 blocks that I mentioned, you have to check out my psychic development course, Psychic Power Portal, where you will learn how to grow your psychic abilities with step-by-step exercises and activations. You'll get some hot seat coaching so you can really figure out what is happening underneath the scenes, and you'll get energy healings to release any energetic blocks, some of which I've already covered, but there's so many more that are hindering you from trusting yourself and your intuitive gifts. This course is opening in April and the doors are opening in March, so I will leave that information in the description. Until then, here's what you can do at home to get the ball rolling on releasing the heaviness of those energetic blocks that I mentioned. Number 1, get in touch with yourself. Get in touch with your body and your mind. What are you thinking and feeling in your own body? If you are not comfortable sitting by yourself and listening to your mind and your body, that is something you need to work on first and foremost. You need to start establishing a clear and strong relationship with yourself. Number 2, begin to question the fears and doubts and worries that pop in your head on a day-to-day basis, because here's a secret. Those doubts and those fears will not just impact your intuition. It literally impacts everything. The fears you have in your business are also fears you have in your relationship and in your life and in your family and in regards to money and all of those things. Your fears impact everything. So notice them and begin reframing them. Number 3, journal. Jot down your thoughts, your feelings, and your intuition. Notice when you put the words onto the paper, what is coming up for you. Notice how your intuitive downloads relate to your present circumstances, the way you're feeling now, or to see what happens in the future. When you start making associations and connections, you'll find that your connection to your intuition strengthens, and you'll better be able to understand what you're getting and what it means for you. Let me know which of the 3 blocks have impacted you the most in regards to trusting yourself, and which of the 3 tips you'll start trying at home. Until next time, start trusting yourself and your intuition. It will never steer you wrong. And don't forget, when Spirit talks, it's time to listen. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, don't forget to follow, subscribe, or leave a review. You can connect with me on Instagram at I am Stephanie Ruth, or visit me on my website at liveandbreathereiki.com. Until next time, don't forget, when Spirit talks, it's time to listen.